This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of the Leicester Till I Die Transfer Show. My name is Lachlan and today we'll be looking at French midfielder Boubakary Soumare. So Soumare, he is a defensive midfielder from Lille, I think that's how you pronounce the team. Again, I'm not really good with the French names, so I'm just going to roll with that. So he's with the side that are currently, at the time of recording, top of Ligue 1 and one win away from sealing the title, which would be quite an achievement in itself. So that, just a bit of history about that side. They've got a similar, I guess, transfer strategy to us in a way. You know, they buy a lot of youngsters for cheap and then sell them for a lot more and use that to build up their squad. And Soumare is just one of the youngsters they've brought through who's got a lot of potential. He hasn't played a lot of games. For him, he's played probably about 2/3 of the games that they've played, so hasn't been like a certain start. He started about half the games or thereabouts, and he comes off the bench a bit as well. So he's by no means they're like standout player, but he's got a really bright future ahead of him at such a young age. So he fits into the, I guess, the philosophy of how we liked the club's philosophy when it comes to transfers, which is buying a lot of young players. So he's only 22 at the moment, and he's got plenty of years ahead of him. He's been sort of compared to Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kanté is meant to be the next big French defensive midfielder. So in terms of his youth career, he's played many games for the French youth sides from under 16 level all the way up to under 21 level. In terms of like all the players that I've looked over for both the Transfer Hub on the website and for the Transfer Show here, I think he's had the most youth appearances for his national side. However, he still has yet to actually get an appearance for the national side yet. So Soumare, he is a PSG youth product. He spent most of his youth career there before moving to his current club about 3 or 4 years ago, and since then he's been a part of the senior squad. So he's a tall midfielder, a similar stature to Paul Pogba, and he's really, like, even though he's tall, he's not one of those tall, lanky midfielders that you see sometimes. He's got a lot of pace to him. He's really quick. He's quick with his feet when it comes to dribbling as well, and he looks like a real decent player to have. So he can either play as a defensive midfielder, which is his main role, but he can also play in the centre of the park as well. So he'd be really good cover as well to have, and a really good player for the future. His ball control, as I mentioned earlier, is excellent. He's great at dribbling, got great feet as well, and his pace is something that's worth noting as well. There's been a lot of times when an opposing side will be on the counter-attack and looking dangerous, then he'll come along and get the intercept or get the big tackle. He's got a great work rate, you know, similar to N'Golo Kanté in the fact that he just never stops running, just keeps going. You know, he does seem to have that presence on the pitch similar to Kanté as well. With Kanté, you know, he's always going to be there. Whenever you're on a counter-attack, you know Kanté's not far away. It's similar with Soumare, you know, he's always tracking back, even when most defenders or midfielders would give up on tracking back because the attack is way ahead. He still tracks back and often manages to catch up as well. And if you can't get him on the first tackle attempt, he gets up and often even gets him on the second, which is really impressive. So as I mentioned earlier, he's got great potential. The way things are going, it is looking like he could be one of the best midfielders, like defensive midfielders in the world once he reaches his peak, which would probably be not for another 6 or 7 years, because he's got such a bright future ahead of him. He's got a lot of natural talent, which you can see, and it's just a case of getting him more experience, really, because he's got the foundations are definitely there for him to be a great player. Like, I'd say at the moment, his current ability would definitely be better than Chowdhury and probably better than Mendy as well. He's not quite at the level of Ndidi yet, but I'm sure give him a few years he'll be able to catch up to him, and I think they'd be really good together. So this transfer looks like it's pretty much almost done and dusted, really. So Fabrizio Romano, he's a well-trusted Italian football journalist, and he's been reporting on this for a little while now. He first reported on it back in February, and that's so just like considered a player we're interested in more than anything. And the last probably week or two, those talks have really escalated. It's been confirmed we have now agreed a fee with the player, so we've agreed, I guess, his terms of the deal. We've now agreed a fee with the club, and it's looking like it's going to be 23 million, so not too bad, and which I think is actually a bit of a bargain, to be honest, because the future he's got ahead of him, if we were to keep him even after like 2 or 3 years, he could be upwards of 50 million, so a really good buy if we can get him for this price. And I'd say as well, he's not going to be a starter when we first get him, that's for sure, but it will allow us to probably offload either Mendy or Chowdhury, most likely Chowdhury, as obviously we saw we nearly got rid of him last transfer window, and he'll just be really good cover to have if we either play Champions League or Europa League next season, whichever one we get into. Hopefully Champions League. He'll be a good player to have as cover for all the additional matches we have. And obviously, now that we are FA Cup champions, we do have some silverware to show for him, and we'll definitely be able to attract him to the club. So he also does have some Champions League and Europa League experience as well, which is really handy for someone his age, so he's not going to get super nervous about the European nights. Like, he's got himself used to it, and he has been playing on big occasion. He's played against teams like Chelsea. Like, I saw when he played against Chelsea, he didn't look out of his depth playing against Conte, you know. Those two really, there wasn't a lot between them. They both really played well. Like, obviously we know Conte's always like that, but Soumare, he didn't get outplayed by any means necessary. He put in a really solid performance that game as well, which was I think a year or two ago now. Overall, I mean, obviously it looks like at this stage that the deal's pretty much done and dusted, really. He's definitely a player we should be excited for. I mean, he's not going to be setting the world alight when he's first with us, but definitely for the future, and he'd be a great backup and a really good, promising player that I'm sure in the next 5 years we'll see some great talent from him.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.